Okay, I'm going to walk everybody through how to get to the PARCC website. So you're going to go to parconline.org. Make sure that you're not in Chrome. So while Chrome is the best browser for just about everything else, make sure that you either use Safari or Firefox to be able to access the test samples. So once you're here, those of you who aren't familiar with the website, there's a lot of great things that you can do. There's an overview, there's some information here about PARCC, but for our purposes right now, we're going to go to the PARCC assessment. Maybe. There we go. Okay, so once you get into the PARCC assessment, we are going to go to the left-hand side in this gray shaded box and click sample questions. So right here, it has the task prototypes and the sample items, and hyperlinked right under that it says try out sample test questions in their intended environment, and what that means is the digital platform. So we're going to click that. You're going to scroll down a little bit, and when it's where it says it's hyperlinked try the sample test items, we're going to click that again. So it's going to open up a new tab in your browser. I encourage you, strongly encourage you, to take a look here at the tutorials. The graphing calculator is not important to us, but the tutorial on how students are going to be able to use the platform. Okay, so how do you advance a page? How do you go back? How do you use the different toolbars? And what are the accessibility features that are available? So once you take a look at the tutorial, you're going to come back and go to sample items. You're going to scroll down. Feel free to take a look at any of these, but we're going to look at the high school ELA test set. So we have the rubric here, and we can open up the rubric and take a look. This is in its draft version. What I want you to notice about this rubric as well, traditionally the 6-point rubric has only focused on the writing. So prose constructed responses for all student work, the reading is also measured. So students writing, students are preparing written tasks, but their ability to synthesize the written sources is evaluated as part of their writing. So I think that's a huge shift, and something that we need to start thinking about as well. So it's a 4-point scale, 5 I guess if you count the 0. So we have reading, written expression, and then knowledge of language conventions. So feel free to take a look at this rubric as well. But for right now, we're going to go back to the, back to the field test resource site, and you're going to click high school ELA item set. Okay. There are 23 total sections. This is one section. So we're going to start the test now. Okay, we're going to start the selection. Okay. So what I want you to see here, these arrows will help you to advance the pages. So if you took a look at the tutorial, you notice these arrows will help you to advance the pages. This review tab, it is a screen that students can see which questions they've answered, which have been viewed. They can toggle between answers. They can flag their answers and go back to them. And then we go back up to the left and we return to the question. In the upper right hand, we're all logged in as guests. In the upper right hand, view available tests, home, change the background. These are the accessibility features that I was talking about. So changing the background color. Okay? That's a little tough to read. So we do have some students that this is an accessibility feature that's going to help them. The magnifier essentially gives you this magnifying glass that you can look over certain words. Okay, we'll turn it off. Show and hide line reader. So students can size this. I think this is kind of neat. Students can size this. They can drag it down, or they can hide text so that they're focused. So that's one aspect of the accessibility features that's kind of neat. Okay. Something else you'll notice is that you go through, you need to be able to scroll all the way down to the end, and there are two-part responses. So students will be asked to read the text, which clearly is informational text here. Which three terms does the author use to refer to DNA fingerprint that help clarify the meaning of the term? So students are going to select 3. So again, this is different from how we've traditionally been giving multiple choice questions. And part B is dependent upon part A. So let's take a look at part B. What do these terms indicate about the results of the 7-step procedure to develop a DNA fingerprint? So students really need to select the 3 correct answers up here in order to get this one correct. Something I want you to know is that students cannot earn credit for part B if they do not get part A correct. Okay, so the only way to get credit for part B is if part A is correct. However, if part A is correct and part B is incorrect, students do still get credit for part A. And if you just think about assessment, and are we assessing correct answers, or are we assessing students' ability to guess? This is kind of making sure that we know that they have the right answers. So you can scroll through, and you have the ability to advance this way, and then you have the ability to go back that way. Okay. So I want you to take the time to kind of play around with this and to see what you think. And then go back to the Google form, please, and answer the few questions that I have, and we will discuss more on Tuesday. Thank you.